guys, it's Blue again. Now that my shelf is stocked with Warrior Cats merchandise, I decided that a Warriors themed book nook would top things off nicely. I've been wanting to make a book nook for quite a while now, and I was originally going to get to work on it during spring, but ultimately just decided to go ahead and jump right into it. Before I did anything, I created the basic design for the book nook. Since this is my first time that I've ever made one of these, I didn't want to make it too elaborate. This book nook is themed to Into the Wild and depicts Rusty and Bluestar in a forest setting. Again, nothing too spectacular. With this basic idea in mind, I purchased my materials and went straight to work. I started things off by painting the cat figurines. After removing their original paint job with acetone, I laid down a couple coats of paint. And after that, I added a few small details such as Bluestar's scar and their eye colors. Rusty's collar was made from old rubber band, which I painted over with Mod Podge to keep it in place. As a small side note, I also painted a couple figurines for Leaf Pool and Squirrel Flight. These two are not actually part of the book nook, but they are meant to be for a smaller project which I will show at the end. While the figurines were drying, I started painting the interior sides of the book nook. I utilized the color scheme which I showed in the beginning, and geez, this was not easy. I don't have a whole lot of experience painting, so I had to keep going back to fix my mistakes. Luckily, trees are pretty simple for me. And after I finished the trees, I used a ball of tin foil to paint on the leaves, allowing the paint to dry between each layer. Once everything was dry, I had to assemble the book nook, which turned out to be way harder than expected. The notches didn't just slide in as easily as puzzle pieces, and you actually had to lightly hammer them to get them to fit, which was certainly the most irritating part of the project. With everything put together, I packed in clay to be the soil and to hold some of the objects in place. Bluestar was glued onto this rock that I found in my yard. This was also pretty difficult as she didn't want to stay put, but once I got her positioned, the rock was glued to the back of the box. In addition, the preserved moss was also glued in place, as well as the twigs that I trimmed down to be tree trunks. And once I was satisfied with the placement, I went through to paint the clay to look like mud. I also added a few extra details, a couple tiny trees, some vines around the trunks, as well as a little squirrel climbing on one of them. With everything done, I covered the sides with scrapbooking paper, added my fairy lights, and here's the finished result. And off to the side, you'll be able to see my aforementioned Squirrel Flight and Leaf Pool project. This was definitely a lot of fun to do, and while it took me a while, I absolutely love how it looks on my shelf. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.